start with a statement from Coach and open up for questions, Coach, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, it was just a great ACC basketball game between two really good teams. One played better than the other, so they won. We didn't play very well, unfortunately. Didn't love our shots. I think everybody played with their desire. They wanted it so bad that I'm not sure we kind of stuck to what we do. Of course, we just didn't play as well as we would have liked. I thought defensively, we also didn't play as well as we would have liked. Obviously, we're coming out of exams, and we're hopeful that we could garner as much energy as possible, and thought we played a little tired. So we just didn't play very well. Obviously had chances to win it, both in regulation and in overtime. And it's a young team, and that's where it shows the most probably. But we know it's a long competitive road. So far that's one, and we'll keep working.
On the last play of regulation for Louisville, did you want a foul in the backcourt with the 2 fouls to give?
We did. Yep. Yeah, that was the plan.
Courtney, I guess from the overtime standpoint, you guys weren't able to kind of make a shot from field score.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think kind of kicked in there? Do you think it was a matter of fatigue or just execution?
I thought we played tired most of the day. I mean, if you look statistically at some of our more experienced or players that have had better years, they just didn't play well enough, right? They didn't make enough shots, and I don't think that happens very often. And so you don't want it to happen, but when it does, it's even harder to win those games, right? And so, when they needed to make shots, they did, and when we needed to make shots, we didn't. And that's certainly a testament to Louisville coming in here and earning a victory against a good team.
It's just the bright spot, obviously, being Henderson, the 3 she was able to make in the fourth quarter. Just what was most impressive to you about her performance as a whole?
I think for Talia, what's most impressive is her, her there's overall competitiveness. She's got a ton of courage. I was on the road recruiting on whatever day, Thursday, Friday, both days, whatever, and she texted me and said, "Can we watch back that practice?" Because she didn't practice as well on one of those days. And so here she is in the office before practice on Saturday, I guess, so it must have been Friday's practice, where it was a 10 a.m. start, and she's in my office at 9:30 watching film from the practice before, right? That's just who she is. She's really committed to getting better, and as a competitor, she's got so much courage, and felt like we needed that from a few more guys, but certainly really proud of Talia.
Courtney, what was Louisville doing defensively to kind of harass India all night? She had 7 turnovers.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to love that. I think what India's had a great year, and I think what she's trying to do in those moments was to kind of get something going. So I thought we kind of got out of our framework and out of our flow, and then that would kind of clog lanes, and she was a little bit unglued in that way. So it's not something that happens very often. She's had great ball control throughout this season so far. I think for her it came more out of probably pushing a little bit too much. And I'll take kids that push too much or just don't push at all.
Did you say anything to her post-game to kind of pick her up after that?
All of them, right? You have to, I think what these guys live in is truth, right? And so the first thing I said is, I know you're disappointed, and you should be, right? 'Cause I am too, right? And so me telling India it's going to be all right, it won't be all right if we don't play better, right? That's a lie, right? And so I don't lie to them. It's we didn't play it well enough to win. It wasn't just India. There was other guys that didn't play well enough to win either, but as a whole, we didn't play well enough to win, so they heard that part of it on both ends. We talked about some of the things that we kind of fell short on. But yeah, we're, the only thing that will pick India up is to play better and to win basketball games, and so she'll have to play better to do that, and we have full faith that she'll do that.
For either of the players saw, obviously K-Mac at the end there, just talking to y'all, kind of as you're huddling around the logo there. Just what was she saying, and then just how did that help lift y'all's spirits a little bit after?
She was just telling us to keep our heads up. It's gonna be a long journey, as Coach said, and making sure that we just stick together. Everything's done together, individually. Don't, say it was me or it was me. Just really look inner in our team per se, and just say we have to be better, and just really look at it as, oh, we got to get better. Really, we have to get better individually, and we also have to get better as a team and hold each other a little bit more accountable.
Yeah, she covered it all. Yeah.
You're good.
Okay. Oh no, she I guess she covered it all.
Okay,
Sorry.
good. I was gonna say for Ciera, or for both of you really, had some success on the board today, even though it didn't have some size. What led to that, and how did that kind of help keep you in that game till the end?
Yeah, I feel like rebounding is a mentality kind of thing, and I think we both went into this game knowing that we had to have a big impact in that way. I mean, personally, that was where a lot of my points came from. Obviously, like you said, it wasn't like we were that much bigger than them, but I think going in, I was like, I have to find rebounds offensively today, defensively, and on the defensive side, just get it up the floor real quick after that.
Oh, she said it perfect. Just, it's a mentality. And, you know, I played at Louisville for 3 years, and that's an emphasis for them. So making sure that, you know, they're going to get tired at some point, but we have to keep attacking and make sure that they see, oh, they should have been better at something else. But rebounding is really important, and rebounding wins games. So.
For the players, what were you all seeing from Louisville in the overtime period that sort of led to the scoreless?
I think we just let them run through their plays. We let them set up. We let Taj look at Coach Walls and see what she wanted to do. We let them talk and point. Kind of we're really relaxed. And I think in that time we knew we were down. We needed to kind of disrupt the ball handler, make her do something instead of trying to set everybody up. And I think that kind of led to, you know, we're already behind. So if we're letting them set up and get what they want, they could either score or we'll have to get a little bit less time on the clock because they're taking time off the clock. So
Yeah, I think they looked very comfortable in that time when we looked very uncomfortable, and I feel like that was a big difference that was also noticeable.
For both of you guys, obviously you go back into the non-conference and then you kind of pick up more of the ACC after that. How important is it, you know, in your opinion, to kind of get, you know, a quick, you know, moment of ACC play, quick taste of ACC, then kind of carry it into the, I guess, larger ACC portion, if that makes sense?
yeah, I think this is a great game to have as an ACC ACC opener. I feel like we could have played anybody, but I think playing Louisville, who is obviously top 2 in our league, is really important for us to see where we're at. It's the first game, of course. We have a long road to go, and as Coach says time and time again, it's a great game every single night. It's gonna come down to who's tougher, who can execute better, and I think tonight we were tested with that, and we can see, you know, where we can be better at. You know, of course everybody has bad games, and I think again that's why Coach Banghart just, you know, makes sure that we just kind of hold ourselves accountable, but also say okay, it's a game, we got to keep being better, and just, you know, I think it's a great test. Louisville's a great team. I played there for 3 years. They're a great team. They have a great system, and I think it's a great first game to see, you know, where we're at.
Nyla, what are your emotions in this sort of situation against your former teammates? And is it a particularly tough loss for you because of that situation?
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, I think we're both great teams. It's not like I left a school that, you know, was it's a good team. Coach Walls has a great system, and I think my emotions were just let's go. You know, we had a whole week to prepare, so it was there wasn't even another game during the week. It was just Louisville. So I think it was just okay, let's go. We've been preparing for this all week, and I think it was just high emotions and excitement. You know, I said hey to the girls after and go on about our lives, you know. So yeah.
You talked about those final moments in the game. How do you think the last few seconds, what was the emotions there, the last 19 seconds, up 3, then they tie the game, and then going into overtime, what was sort of the mindset and kind of the plan there?
I think, you know, it was the emotions were holy, it's actually a tight game. You know what I'm saying? It was oh my gosh, we gotta go. And I think that was where the difference with that emotion and regulation game emotion was it has to be that whole 40 minutes. We have to feel oh my gosh, we're about to lose this game. We kind of waited into the last second, and I think, you know, again, we kind of let them, they were up almost the whole entire game, right? They're already in a little bit of an advantage. So I think that was kind of more of the emotions and realizing, dang, we got to be better.
Just for Aaliyah, I think held to 1 of 8 from the field. Jeff was just in here saying how much they were really clued into just stopping her.
Yeah.
What do you think it was maybe about Louisville's just defense that was kind of disrupting her a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you add up Elena and India and Renaya and Nyla Brooks, you're not going to like that kind of plus. You're not going to like that shot attempts, she shot makes. We talk about shot quality. We talk about early decision making, right? I think when we look at that game, by and large, our shot quality won't be where it's been. I think our decision making will be a bit delayed, and I think those are areas that we just have to keep getting better in. And is it because there was a fog? Is it because of exams? Was it because we were fatigued? I don't know, but I can tell you it's not because these guys are not paying attention and not getting better, right? This isn't a team that I've seen play like this very often. So, I think it's kind of the perfect storm of just, I thought Louisville played really well, better than the games I've watched, and we didn't play as well. I thought we made slower decisions than we needed to, and I thought our shot quality wasn't great, quite honestly. And E is right around with it. She got a little too deep with her dribble. Her shot quality was bad because she was slow into her release. She wasn't attacking finishes in the way she does. We got too deep on our penetration, so our windows weren't great. I mean, we just quite honestly, our just decisions were slow, and our shot making, our shot quality wasn't great. I mean, it's not that this wasn't a game that we wanted to win. It's that we also, it is what it is, right? We just didn't play well enough. Those two areas were critical concerns, and I thought defensively we played tired. We didn't set the tone. We let them really get comfortable. We give up 26 points in the first quarter. Like we give up that in 3 quarters typically, right? And so we just didn't play very well. I know you're not going to play really well for the 16 ACC games, and it feels right now like, oh God, we played bad it's one of the 16 games. You have to win as many of them as you can, stack wins, be playing your best basketball in the tournament, and this is a good kind of, okay. I didn't think we played well enough to take them to overtime, quite honestly. I mean, this team is too good for us to play so poorly on both ends, and so there's hope. It doesn't do me any good to share them with my hope because I'm wearing a sweater or quarter zip, right? But this is a team that has hopes. I see them practice every day. We'll have to play better, and I'm confident we will.
Courtney, you mentioned Nyla Brooks. She didn't play at all after halftime. What sort of went into that decision making?
I think she just, she was aggressive on the catch, and obviously that what we really needed was ball movement, and that wasn't what she was doing so well. Also, Ria Henderson played really well. I mean, and so she ended up getting more of those minutes that were kind of more available. And so I always say this to all the guys. I actually really don't care who plays. I'm highly motivated to win basketball games, right? And so, whether Nyla plays more than Ciera, I spend 0 time thinking about that, like literally not a minute about that. It's about who can help us win games in that moment. And, I thought Talia's second half warranted, her to continue playing with a lot of those minutes.
Ciera and Nyla, can I guess one of or both of you guys talk about obviously Henderson's ability to kind of step up and make those shots? Like, what have you kind of seen from her behind the scenes in practice that have kind of allowed her to, I guess, be ready for those type of moments and hit those type of shots?
I can take this one. Yeah, she just works really hard. She asks questions. She really just wants to understand the system. Coming in as a freshman, there's so many things you have to worry about, like just understanding the program, like the off-court stuff, just everything. And Talia's done a really good job of working out when she feels like coach's example. Like, that makes full sense to me. She just wants to get better day in and day out, and I'm happy that it showed today.
Did you speak to Renaya? She led the team with 4 assists. She brought the defense, but she's never been in a shooting slump like this before.
Mm-hmm.
What's she going through there?
I don't know. I mean, I think for Renaya, she's not fully cleared. I hope that right after Christmas, I think, is when we're going to kind of unleash her. And so, knowing ACC play, we need her late. Not trying to grind her early. So we're still. I know everyone's in uniform, which is a rare thing at Carolina. I get it, but she's still not fully back. She's we're giving her game minutes as opposed to practice minutes, so that she can kind of get her game rhythm that way, because of her experience. I think that warrants that. So, I have, with what she's been able to do, and I've seen her play. Of course, if you add up all the practice days and then recruiting her, I'm sad for her that she hasn't found the basket, but there's no one who believes in Ria Kelly more than me.
So she isn't practicing?
Oh, no, she's not. No, she's not giving much practice minutes right now. We hope that will change right after the new year. But we've always been playing the long game with her.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Just for you guys, 22 points in the paint, I think 34 for Louisville. You talked earlier about maybe not liking some of the moments you guys were,
Mhm.
just what went into that?
I mean, pain points come in a lot of ways. O boards, it comes in the transition, and it comes in dribble attacks. It comes in post touches, right? I think my mother probably thinks that points in the paint are post feeds, right? That's not it. Basically, post feeds are, I mean, paint scores are aggressive offensive attack in all ways, in all of those areas. And so I think they littered themselves through kind of all four of those categories really well. I mean, a poor shot for us or a turnover led to paint scores or paint opportunities. They are switching. We were reactionary, and so they were able to post up. So there were some post ups that way. And then their offensive rebounds. I mean, it's sort of like it kind of comes together in all those kind of categories. So I don't think it was the paint points. I don't think it was the fast break points. It was our defensive identity wasn't as good as it's been, right? And you add that into playing with hesitation and their shot selection being a bit iffy. It just is not a great equation against a really good team. So I think if we watch that game back without a scoreboard, it feels like we lose by 20 because it's just not the team I'm used to seeing, right? But these guys are warriors, so of course they keep it a battle and they have every chance to win it late.